so we are continuing our notes from 3-4. And we're actually continuing example 4, which you may remember was a wonderful story problem about gross income, net income, and investment. Yes? Oh, that's a good question. Hang on. I said it yesterday, and I still know it if I look back at my notes. Page 154. 154. Okay, so let me take you back for a moment. The answer to part A was that the amount we're going to invest, is equal to 0.1, 10%, times 0.65G, that was 65% of our gross income, which was our net income, minus $450, which we were going to set aside for the cost of food, groceries. Okay? So this tells us, and this is on a monthly basis, a per month basis, this tells us here 0.65G is how much we're going to take home. Then we're going to take off $450 each month for the cost of groceries. Then we're going to take that amount, multiply it by 10%, 0.1, and that is going to tell us how much we can invest that month. Okay? So part B of this then is to find the inverse and describe that inverse. And this time we're not going to switch variables. We're going to keep the variables like they are. We're just going to solve for the other variable, and that's really what the inverse is, right? It's solving for the other variable. So right now we've got I equals 0.1 times 0.65G minus 450 inverse. So how should I start solving for G? What would be the first step here?
G equals?
Huh?
G equals 0.1?
Well, that's what I want to see eventually, but I need to do the algebra to make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, what do I get rid of? How do I get rid of it? Yeah. Distribute the 0.1, that's one way. I would rather just get rid of the 0.1. Is that okay? The way I would do that is 0.1 is 1/10, right? So if I multiply 0.1 by 10, 0.1 times 10 is 1. Because 1/10 times 10 is 10 over 10 is 1.
Is that a less complicated way? Because I would have done it the same way Skip said.
Yeah, to me it is. Now, it's not, there is no right answer to this. You could do it either way, but think about what's going to happen when you distribute this 0.1. This 0.65 is then going to become 0.065, and you're going to wind up having to divide by 0.065 in the end. And then this 450, on the other hand, will become 45, so that's a little bit better. But I think if we get rid of the 0.1, I think you'll see things will turn out a little bit easier. Yes, Christine?
It confuses me because the 0.1 is right in front of the parentheses, which implies multiplication. So
Yes.
you divide from both sides?
Well, think of it this way, and this is, maybe I want to write this for everybody. Instead of thinking about it as 0.1, think of it as 1 over 10. Okay? If you think of it as 1/10, as 1 over 10, if I then multiply the 1/10 by 10, 10 times 1/10 is 10 over 10 is 1. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna multiply this whole thing by 10, which forces me to multiply by 10 over here.
So can we always turn our decimal into fractions?
Absolutely.
To make it easier?
Yes, absolutely. So that cancels the 1/10 with the 10. And I have 10I equals 0.65G minus 450. And then, of course, you just add the 450 to both sides. So this is then 10I plus 450 equals 0.65G. Since we have the extra time today, I want to do the same thing that I did with the 0.1 with the 0.65. I want to call it, I'll do some side work here. I want to call 0.65 65 over 100. That's what 65% is. And then I want to reduce it as much as possible. Yes?
Can I take that pen?
I suppose. Yes. Yeah.
What
Okay.
is it?
The yellow. Yes. That.
Thank you.
So how much can I reduce 65 over 100 by? Yes.
To 17 and 50?
Is that by 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely, I can reduce it by 5 to 17 over 20. not
Okay,
50,
good, I'm
right?
like, that's, no.
Yeah, yeah. 100 divided by 5 is 20.
Wait, 65 divided by 5 is 13.
Oh, is it? It is?
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Christina, come on.
I did it all in my head, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry, I make the same mistakes all the time. So this becomes 13 over 20. So I want to write this as 10I plus 450 equals 13 over 20 times G. And the reason I want to do that is because that allows me to multiply by its reciprocal to make 1 and multiply by the reciprocal on the other side, and then I'm done, right? Because I can do times 20 over 13 and times all of this by 20 over 13. And then these will cancel over here, and I'll have that G equals 20 over 13 times the quantity 10I plus 450. And I'm just going to leave it that way. Let's not bother trying to distribute the 20 over 13 or any nonsense like that. There's no real reason to. And then I'm going to write that formula at the top here. So we've got G equals 20 over 13 times the quantity 10I plus 450. Any questions about this before I move on to part C? Questions? 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 No? Good, since I can't interact with you people on YouTubes.
I hope
YouTube.
someone who every part niece watches it, and it's really confused.
No, you know, Dell is going to be watching it too. She actually also requested this today.
Oh yeah, I missed the notes from yesterday, so I haven't.
Yeah, you can go back and watch it too. It is, yesterday's videos are up on YouTube, linked in Schoology.
Okay.
So can I erase? Anybody?
It's in the video.
I know. I'm gonna write it right now. I don't know what I'm doing. My other one. My camera's being super blurry.
All right.
But now it's working, okay.
Okay, we good? Yes? Okay. All right. So now, why would we want this inverted formula? What does it do for us?
Math.
Well, yes, math. Specifically though, what does this tell us? What does this allow us to do in terms of this problem? That's what's important. Is look at what we've not got now. What is G?
Gross.
What did G stand for?
Your gross pay.
Gross pay. Do I need to remind you what gross pay is?
First pays all the money you get. Net
Right,
pay-
before they take out taxes, before they take out
And
anything.
net pays what you get after they take everything out.
Right, right. So gross pay is the amount you can easily calculate. Gross pay is whatever you're being paid per hour times the number of hours you work in, say, a month. Okay, if you're being paid $9 an hour and you work 40 hours a week, 40 times 4 is 160, so you do 160 times 9, and that tells you your gross pay. That's not what you'll see in your check. But what we have done here is we have found a way to say, okay, if I wanted to invest this much money this month, I can plug that amount right here into I, do this calculation, and it will tell me what my gross pay needs to be in order to invest that much money that month. So part C asks us, how much do you need to make in a month in gross pay, so you don't have to worry about after taxes or anything like that. How much do you need to make in a month in gross pay to invest $100 that month? That is the question we want to answer. And because we have inverted the equation, it is a fairly simple thing to answer now. Because now I have the investment as part of the equation. All I have to do is plug in the number. So all I have to do is say, okay, G equals 20 over 13 times the quantity, 10 times 100, that's my investment that I want to make, plus 450. And I just simplify this. That's 20 over 13 times 10 times 100 is 1,000 plus 450, which is 20 over 13 times 1,450 and all I need to do is that calculation, which is, all I do is 20 times 1,450 divided by 13. Somebody do that on a calculator for me and make it look like money, please. Tell me this amount in money. In money, in other words, rounded to 2 decimal places.
I think it's, wait, you have to set it up like the division problem, or could you do the multiplication? You know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean, but
It's the
the
same.
answer is it depends on what kind of calculator you have.
The answer was the same.
If you just, what's that?
The answer was the same on both of them.
Okay. So what was it?
$2,230.77.
Can someone else confirm that, please? That is, okay. Excellent. So, $2,230.77. Now, we could take this problem further, right? You could say, okay, that's how much I have to make in a month, assuming I work full-time, 40 hours a week. That's 4 weeks, so that's 160 hours in a month. Assuming I work 160 hours in a month, I could figure out what I need to be paid per hour by dividing by 160 here, and it would tell me you need to make this much per hour in order for that to work out, so that you can invest $100 a month. So we could take it a step farther, we don't have to, but this all tells you, and this is not just, you wouldn't have to use this just for how much do I want to invest. You could use this as how much do I want to save this amount each month. I have this expense, this expense, this expense, this expense that I have to take off of my net pay. My net pay is this percent of my gross pay. Invert the whole equation, and you can have a simple, straightforward way of calculating, okay, my gross pay needs to be this much money in a month in order for me to save or invest or contribute or whatever you need that other bit of money for, to say, yes, I can give that much, or I can invest that much, or whatever I need to do, I can buy that much in stocks of something this month. Okay? Questions on this example? This is one of the most real-world examples we've ever talked about. This problem is finished. And we've got one more example left, and then we'll be done.
Good? Yeah.
We good? Can I erase?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. One more example. Example 5. We're given a function, f of x, and it equals 4x minus 9. We are asked to do two things. Part A, we are asked to find its inverse function, and you should know that the inverse of this function is indeed another function, because what kind of graph is this? Say it again.
Linear.
It is linear. It is a line. Does a line pass the horizontal line test? Yes. So the inverse must be a function. So we want to find the inverse. Well, we set it up as y equals 4x minus 9. Then we exchange x and y to have x equals 4y minus 9. And then we resolve for y, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides, giving me x plus 9 equals 4y. I'll divide the whole thing by 4, giving me that x plus 9 all over 4 equals f inverse of x. And so I have the inverse. Now part B says verify the inverses using composition. So, remember, when you compose two inverses, you should get x in both directions. So, let's do F inverse composite F first. That will be F of F inverse of x, which would be F of x plus 9 all over 4. So go to F, find every instance of x in F, and replace it with x plus 9 all over 4. So that's 4 times the quantity x plus 9 over 4 minus 9. Well, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, cancel each other. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Leaving me with x plus 9 minus 9. 9 minus 9 is 0, leaving me with x. So that direction works. Yes? Yep. And then we have to do the other direction. So we'll do F composite F inverse of x, which is F inverse of f of x, which is F inverse of 4x minus 9, which says, go to F inverse, find every instance of x, and replace with 4x minus 9. So this is 4x minus 9 plus 9 all over 4. Minus 9 plus 9 cancel each other because they make 0. So I got 4x over 4, which is of course just x, and thus it is verified. And that's the end of the notes. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back here some other time when other students request videos.